Yesterday was one of those days as a leader that I had a rough time. I actually ended up crying yesterday, releasing some tears. It was one of those days where I had back to back meetings, a lot of coaching meetings, and I'm honored to serve. I love what I do. I'm serving leaders who are making amazing things happen in the world, being the person behind the person. To some could be a hit to the ego, but to me, it is quiet power, a soft form of leadership that is highly influential and impactful. So few people really know who are the CEO whisperers and founder whisperers who are influencing their public leadership and the work that they are offering. And so I work across many organizations with many leaders, and as an organizational psychologist, an inner spiritual minister, a coach, I am in my function. But I also lead my business, Earthseed. I'm a leader in my home. I am president of a board president of an emerging interfaith seminary called The Thread. And it was just one of those days where I felt like I had a lot I was required to give a lot. And yet I was feeling a little diminished in my capacity. I was feeling under-resourced. And my partner didn't do something or that I expected him to do, or maybe he didn't even know that I expected it because I hadn't really articulated the need. But I started my morning rather than being in silence in my work sanctuary, centering, getting really vertical and aligned with spirit. I woke up in that conversation with him. I don't even know how that happened. And he corrected it immediately. Like it wasn't like a big deal. He was like, oh, but I realized that it was affecting me more than I wanted to admit. And so I had to show up for my clients, ironically leading a session on positive intelligence. And what was great is like when I'm focused and I'm serving and I'm helping to bring others into clarity and alignment, into peace, to support their well-being, their relationships, their performance. Like I'm not thinking about myself. I'm ego-less. I'm in the flow. And so it's selfless. And I was actually grateful for that yesterday. But I had a pause in between my sessions where I had to meet with my prayer partner. And it was in that loving, supportive, sacred space that I wept. And of course, she interceded. I prayed, we prayed. And in that moment, I felt healed. I felt clear on what I needed to do. Long and the short of it is, yesterday I wasn't feeling the love. I felt like I'm leading, I'm giving, I'm loving, I'm serving. And the lesson that we were reading and aligning around in the Course in Miracles was there is no love but God's. There is no love but God's. The core message of that lesson is that we humans, we use the word love all the time, and we think that there are different kinds of love and forms of love can change. And the Course is saying that's not love. Most of that love is very conditional with our children, with our employers at work, with our friends, right? We love them as long as they are meeting our needs and serving us, whether we're conscious of that or not. The moment somebody changes or does something that we didn't expect them to do, our love gets wobbly. And so yesterday's lesson was like, there's only real love. Most of us humans know nothing of this love. The law of love, the love of the divine, of the universe that keeps this all together, is unconditional. It just flows forth. It just moves. The sun rises and sets every day. The earth spins on its axis. My body moves and operates in ways that I don't understand without me consciously being aware of it. The earth just keeps giving forth life, plants, animals, nutrients to feed us, to support us. There is no lack in that love. It's abundant. We experience and perceive lack because our humanness and ego creates political and economic systems, and we fight over resources, and we take more than we need, and we forget about those who don't have. That's us. That's not the law of love. That's not the law of the universe and the divine. So that message yesterday, as I wept, and as I sat in my prayer as a leader, leading in my life, my home community, was just reminding me that love is there, sis. Love is there for me, but for my blocks to awareness of its presence. And so I needed to pause. Even as I was serving others, I needed to take 30 minutes with my sis to be with the lesson in the course, lesson 127 yesterday. There is no love but God's. There is no love but the Creator's love, the divine love. It is unceasing. It is unchanging. Can I love that unconditionally, despite what is happening in my life and with people in my life? Even when I'm feeling drained, can I lean and rely on that love? And so I moved through yesterday with that prayer. I meditated with that lesson twice yesterday, which is what the course was asking. And I went to sleep, and I woke up this morning with a very lesson that I needed. Lesson 128 of the course today is: the world I see has nothing that I want. The world I see has nothing that I want. When I say that, how does that make you feel? My ego immediately gets upset. What do you mean the world I see? What is all this for? Why am I out here serving and doing and striving and trying to provide for my family and doing this and that? What do you mean the world I see has nothing that I want? But if you're not a student or teacher or follower of A Course in Miracles, you might miss the deeper lesson here. Essentially, what this lesson is saying is this world that our physical senses perceive, they are filtered through our perception. And that is usually the perception of our ego, our identity. That self is the self with small s. The small s self is not our true sacred self with the capital S, the eternal, unchanging, spiritual self. So when it says the world I see has nothing that I want, it assumes at this stage of the course, because the course is a psycho spiritual mind training program that has a lesson a day over 365 days. So we're in lesson 128 today. So at this stage, I'm still learning. You're still learning, if you're a student of the course, what this I is. To which I are you referring? So when it says the world I see has nothing I want, it's talking about the little s, the I. If I'm looking at the world and perceiving the world through that eye, I'm going to be really focused in giving value and meaning to things. So I just wanted to read this lesson today because it is the healing that I am needing, and I'm extracting the spiritual lessons for my leadership. It says, the world you see has nothing that you need to offer you, nothing that you can use in any way, nor anything at all that serves to give you joy. Believe this thought, and you are saved from years of misery, from countless disappointments, and from hopes that turn to bitter ashes of despair. No one but must accept this thought as true if he would leave this world behind and soar beyond its petty scope and little ways. It's saying, there's nothing here. You're giving, let me speak in the I am giving meaning to things that are little and petty when I'm looking at the world from the little I, the little Jackie, the ego Jackie. When I'm looking from that perspective, believing what my physical senses are telling me, I'm dealing in small things, in petty things, and I'm pretty much guaranteed, as I said here, years of misery, countless disappointments, and hopes that will turn to bitter ashes of despair. And that's really how I was feeling. If I'm honest, I confess. I was in my smallness yesterday about something that just didn't matter. Section 2, paragraph 2. Each thing you value here is but a chain that binds you to the world, and it will serve no other end but this. For everything must serve the purpose you have given it until you see a different purpose there. The only purpose worthy of your mind this world contains is that you pass it by without delaying to perceive some hope where there is none. Be you deceived no more. The world you see has nothing that you want. Do you hear that? For it says, for everything must serve the purpose I have given it until I choose to see a different purpose there. So when I'm looking at something in upset or in judgment, like I was yesterday with my partner, I'm giving it meaning. It's serving the purpose that my mind, my ego filter will have it serve. And it will continue to do so. I will stay in upset. I will stay in not feeling loved. Yesterday, I felt like I wasn't supported and I wasn't receiving the love that I always give, but that's an interpretation. And until I chose to see it differently yesterday through my meditations, my mantras, and my prayers, I wasn't able to give that a different purpose, to see that there might have been a divine lesson and opportunity for me in that upset. It goes on to say, escape today the chains you place upon your mind when you perceive salvation here in this world. For what you value, you make part of you as you perceive yourself. All things you seek to make your value greater in your sight limit you further. Let me say that again. All things you seek to make your value greater in your sight limit you further. They hide your worth from you and add another bar across the door that leads to the true awareness of yourself. Everything in this world that I'm making value more or putting higher than my true spiritual nature and self, I'm just adding another bar across the door of true awareness of my big Jackie self with a capital S. Anything that I'm prioritizing other than me starting my day in advance with my spiritual practice, aligning, centering, becoming vertical, as Nook Sanchez says. She's a master teacher of A Course in Miracles, becoming vertical. Anything that I'm making greater than that. If I'm getting up to coach, to lead, to connect with my family, to lead as a board president, and I haven't taken time to center on my holy self, my sacred self, my inner goddess, my inner teacher, my divine mind, I haven't plugged in, tapped in to that, then I'm gonna be confused. I'm gonna be attached to things that don't matter. It says, let nothing that relates to body thoughts delay your progress to salvation. So anything related to the body in this world, the physical senses. Let nothing that relates to the body thoughts delay your progress to salvation, nor permit temptation to believe the world has anything you want hold you back. Nothing is here to cherish. Nothing is here to cherish. Nothing here is worth one instant of delay and pain, one moment of uncertainty and doubt. The worthless offers nothing. Certainty of worth cannot be found in the worthless. When we look as leaders to place worth on things that are worthless, we are delaying our peace. We are delaying our joy, because peace and joy are always available to me. They're here. They're flowing all the time. The divine God The God is there, they're speaking to me all throughout the day. Am I paying attention? Am I slowing down enough to perceive the love that is always here? And so if a human being disappoints me with their version of love because they were in their ego, am I really loveless? No, unless I choose to interpret it that way. It says today, and this is the practice, the invitation today, because the Course is not just philosophical, metaphysical, spiritual principles of universal law and truth. It is a practice. It invites you, it invites me, it invites us into a daily practice. So it's given the lesson, and now it's saying, this is what you do today. Today, we practice letting go of all thought or values we have given to the world. Everything we're attached to in the world that we've given and placed priority on and given value to. We leave it free of purposes we gave its aspects and its phases and its dreams. We're just living the dream here. It's a dream. It's a projection of our mind, a fantasy. We give everything the meaning that it has. I give everything the meanings that I have, that it has for me based on how I choose to see it. It says we hold it purposeless within our minds and loosen it from all we wish it were. We set it free. We loosen it from all we wish it were. It's our ego that makes wishes. It's our soul, our holy self, our sacred self that knows. Thus do we lift the chains that bar the door to freedom from the world and go beyond all little values and diminished aims. And then it gives you, it says peace and be still a little while today. Peace and be still a little while and see how far you rise above the world when you release your mind from chains and let it seek the level where it finds itself a home. And your home is in the divine. It's in your inner sanctuary. That's your true home. I rest in God. I rest in God. I rest in the unconditional love, the law of love that is always flowing. To sit with it. I'm just moved when I contemplate the love that is always flowing to me right now. And it says when we rest in that, in the knowledge of that there is no love but God's, and that the world I see has nothing that I want. It says it will be grateful. Your holy self will be grateful to be free for a while. It knows where it belongs. But free its wings, and it will fly in sureness and in joy to join in its holy purpose. Let it rest in its creator. There to be restored to sanity, to freedom and love. Let it rest in its creator, there to be restored to sanity, to freedom, and to love. I lost it yesterday. I forgot who I really am and whose I am. That I am love, created by love, to love. And for a minute, my ego felt like it was in lack, that it didn't have enough, that it didn't have what it needs. But today, it is inviting me, the lesson, to rest in love in my creator. It says, give it 10 minutes rest 3 times today. So it's asking me to take 10 minutes 3 times today, in whatever the moment I want, to meditate on this lesson. Give it 10 minutes rest, my mind, the ego chatter, the ego mind, 3 times today. And when your eyes are opened afterwards, you will not value anything you see as much as when you looked at it before. Your whole perspective on the world will shift by just a little every time you let your mind escape its chains. It just brings me such peace to know that if I just give it 10 minutes 3 times today, the law of love, God, my creator, the divine, is guaranteeing me that I will see nothing as I saw it before once I get up from that rest, from that meditation, from that contemplation, from that stillness, from that quiet. That my whole perspective on the world will shift by just a little every time I let my mind escape the chains that I have put on it. The world is not where it belongs, my mind. And you belong where it would be and where it goes to rest when you release it from the world. Your guide is sure, your inner guide. Open your mind to him. Be still, or her. Be still and rest. Be still and rest. Protect your mind throughout the day as well. So in addition to the 3 sessions, 10-minute sessions of contemplation, the Course is saying protect your mind throughout the day as well. So throughout the day, when you get up, remember this lesson. And when you think you see some value, because your ego will get to work again, in an aspect or an image of the world, refuse to lay this chain upon your mind and tell yourself with certain quiety, with quiet certainty, this is the prayer. So anytime today, when I catch myself giving value to the world, I am to remember this prayer. This will not tempt me to delay myself, my holy self. The world I see has nothing that I want. And so I hope my story and what I've been going through as a leader, this is sacred leadership to me. This is what this means to be a sacred leader. To center myself, first thing, I haven't done anything today but brush my teeth and use the bathroom, do my Ori head blessing, get my green matcha, sit with the Course, and I just felt moved to share it with you because it has been healing, a healing balm, a healing salve over my consciousness, because I'm about to get up and my body has to do things in this world. But the prayer is whenever I'm tempted to give value to something, to let it trigger me or activate me or make me think that I don't have everything that I need, I am to remember that there is no love but God's. And this will not tempt me to delay my access to my holy self. The world I see, that these eyeballs are seeing, have nothing that I want. The Course distinguishes between sight and vision. And so the invitation today from this lesson, I ask you, sit with me just for 10 minutes, 3 times today, to meditate on this lesson. To say the world I see, my ego self sees, has nothing that I want. The invitation is for you to choose vision. And the Course teaches that you don't need your eyes to have vision. You just need a mind that is plugged in to the divine, to what's real, to what's true. The Course teaches nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So I wish you peace today. As you lead in your life, your home, and you love, that you remember this prayer. There is no love but God's. The world I see has nothing that I want, and I choose vision. Tomorrow's lesson 129, is beyond this world. There is a world that I want. So despair not. Like, what, if this world has no value, then what is there? The Course tomorrow will say, well, we're going to show you what you should be valuing. We invite you. So I send this with love. May you have a beautiful day. May you take the time you need to align with your holy self, with your sacred self, with your divine self, with your inner sage, your inner wise one. And may you pray. Use it as a mantra to guide you. May it be so. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Aho. Thanks. for spending this time with me.